Stock market and SoFi investors, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jason, and I seriously think, guys, that there's some insanity in store for SoFi stock in the very near future. There's just a lot of things macroeconomically and overall with the stock that just make zero sense. And I've uncovered another little nugget of information. I did address this a little bit in a video earlier this week, but man, this is crazy. Vanguard just absolutely took out the piggy bank and added a ton of shares. In today's video, I'm going to break down all the different things going on with SoFi stock that could eventually lead to an either further crash down to the $10 range or an absolutely historic run to the upside, and I'm leaning towards the latter. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. All right, all my SoFi investors, if you want to check out the platform, the checking and savings account or the invest account, you get free 25 bucks if you fund those accounts. I'll leave my link in the description down below if you guys want to check that out. But first, check out your screen, guys. Holy crap. Check out the institutional shares right here. 834 million shares owned by institutions. That makes 65% of the total shares. Institutional owners, 995. They're not super crazy numbers, but the crazy part is right here. I shot a video 2 days ago on Wednesday. Today's Friday. And the institutional shares owned by institutions was only 719 million shares. So, in 2 days, 100 and what? 15 million shares have been gobbled up by institutions. That's a crazy number. And if we check out the institutional share percentage, is at 65% now. It was at 56% just the other day. So almost a 10% increase. I don't know, guys. At some point, this stock is going to run. And when it runs, it's going to run freaking hard. If I was shorting right now and I saw these numbers, I'd be shitting my pants. So, Vanguard Portfolio Management LLC and then the Vanguard Capital Management LLC both bought over 50 million shares for both of them. The crazy part is Vanguard Group Inc. owns 111 million shares. So the capital management and the portfolio management opened up new positions today. These numbers are flat out crazy, guys. 57 million shares and 50 million shares for the portfolio management part of them. This is a lot at play here. They already owned 111 million. They just added another 107 million in these different portfolios. It's wild what's happening right now with SoFi stock. If you take a look at the filing dates on 5/8, all three of these, and then they added even more shares. Vanguard Investments Australia added another 623,000 shares. So if we take a look at the greens means new positions, the negative means that they've trimmed their positions, and then if it's another number that, like this company, Andra AP, increased their shareholding percentage by 696%. So a lot of buying over the last couple of days, guys. I feel like SoFi right now is just like a rubber band pulled back with a lot of tension that's about to explode. So if we take a look at the S&P 500 over the last month, VOO is up 10%. On the year, up about 8%. Talk about a V-shaped recovery. Pretty remarkable. But banks got obliterated today. I don't know what the hell's going on with banks, but Bank of America down almost 3%. Citigroup today down about 3% as well. But year to date, Bank of America and Citigroup are outperforming SoFi stock, which absolutely makes zero sense at all whatsoever. Bank of America still red for the year, down around 8%. Citigroup is still somehow positive at about 6%. But SoFi over the last month is negative 4%. And year to date, they're down 42%. And they're outgrowing these companies by multiples. Humongous multiples. So it's a very strange atmosphere right now for SoFi stock. People are trying to figure out how to value this company, in my opinion. But Anthony Noto keeps on buying. He bought $1 million worth of shares on March 1st, another 500K on the 16th, and today, when I'm filming this, today is May 8th. He bought again today another 15,000 shares worth around $250,000 at $15.73 on average per share. So the CEO is buying hand over fist right now. And the last time he did that, 6 months or so after he bought, the stock went on a huge run into the high 20s, into the low 30s. I don't know, guys. I wouldn't be wanting to short this company. That is for sure. And if we take a look overall, what's going on with SoFi stock, if you take a look at your screen, the revenue growth just continues to accelerate. In every single quarter, the growth is huge. These are some of the quarters. Q1 2024, about $500 million in revenue growth. Now we're doing $1 billion in revenue growth. So the numbers just flat out don't lie. The member growth, huge. We were at, in Q1 2024, we were at 8 million members. And Q1 2026, in 2 years, we've almost doubled the amount of members on the platform. We're closing in on 15 million right now. And we did another million new members last quarter. Product growth growing exponentially, doubled in 2 years from like 11.83 million, a little less than doubled to 22.16 million. And the margin trends are great. Net interest margin looks good. The contribution margin's still solid. The EBITDA margins are great. Net income margins down a little bit here in Q1 2026 compared to Q4 2025, but the numbers are still really good when you look at these previous quarters. And this is in a rate environment that's not particularly great for banks. And I think the stock, if rate cuts come, is going to explode. I think the main reason why we saw a sell-off is because SoFi and Anthony Noto chose not to raise guidance. And that's because they are forecasting no rate cuts for 2026. But that too shall pass. At some point down the road, those rate decreases are going to come. That's flat out. Anthony Noto and his team came out and said they don't see any rate cuts. They think they're going to stay the same, or if things get worse with the war, there might be a rate increase. So that made them not change their guidance for this year. So I think that's a responsible thing to do moving forward. But the market didn't like it. It was in this range, and then it ran up to about 19, and then it sold back off. So we're getting another opportunity, guys. I wouldn't waste it. And here are some of the highlights from Q1 2026. Record adjusted net revenue of $1.1 billion, up 41% year over year. Bank of America and Citigroup aren't growing a fraction of this revenue-wise. Adjusted EBITDA up 31%. Adjusted EBITDA margin looks great. Adjusted EBITDA $340 million. GAAP net income of $167 million. Fee-based revenue of $387 million, up 23% year over year. These numbers look great. Financial services and tech platform revenue contributed to $504 million of adjusted net revenue, up 24% year over year. And that's with the tech platform shitting the bed. Apparently, there are some new clients in the pipeline that are going to contribute to these margins and revenue going forward, but we haven't seen that yet on the bottom line. So hopefully we'll get contributions from the tech platform on the top and the bottom line moving forward. Record loan originations of $12.2 billion. I mean, every quarter it's like they're breaking new records. Total deposits grew to $2.7 billion quarter over quarter to over $40 billion. And the bigger these nest eggs get, the more loans they could send out there. And I'm really excited for the future of this company. And I think we are at the point where this rubber band is stretched, guys. And we could see a huge run moving forward. And I'm geeked about it. right now, here's my big dog account, guys. Over the last 2 years, we're up 140%, significantly outperforming the market. And that's with SoFi being around 30% of my big dog portfolio outside of my options. And with them getting crushed in the short term, we're still up 140%. That's how successful we've been. If SoFi gets back over 20 bucks, I'm going to be back to up to over 200% gains in the last 2 years. We're crushing it. And if we take a look at what we're doing this year alone in the big dog account, we've taken 124,000 in gains, 70,000 in losses. A lot of that is kicking options down the road, covered calls. So they're not real losses. And we're still up $54,000 in gains this year. About 10 grand a month we're doing in the big dog account. So if you want to check out my trades, see what I'm doing, ask me questions, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're closing in around 7,000 SoFi shares in the big dog account right now. I'm starting to build out some positions. Adobe. When I have one share of a company, I'm just tracking the price action to potentially make a move. I'm growing out my HIMS position as well. Microsoft, Palantir, I have about 626 shares. I am adding some shares to that as well. And here we go. SoFi right here. 6,440 shares in this account. And I have another 600 in my Robinhood account. So we're over 7,000 shares. If we get to 10,000 shares, $100 stock price would get us to $1 million buckaroonies. Gotta love that. I love Zscaler too. I'm starting to build out that position as well. It's already starting to run a little bit there, guys. But I also do trade a lot of covered calls and a lot of options, as you can see. So we had a nice week in covered calls with SoFi. The 1650, we had one, we had 6 $17 calls, and then we had 12 1750 calls, and we had 7 $18 calls, all out of the money. Very similar calls next week. And I do have some puts, but I'm selling a lot of covered calls. Just general, like you can see all the green. This is combating some of the losses that we're taking on the stock. And we're going to just keep racking up dollar bills with these covered calls in the short term. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I do think sooner rather than later, we're going to go back to those prices about 25 to 30 bucks. I mean, the stock is getting destroyed. And you could double your money if we just get back to where we were in November. And the company's in a better place than it's been in a long time. If you take a look at Twitter, there's some really crazy numbers. SoFi 5 years ago, 16 bucks a share, 1.5 million members with 260 million in gross profit run rate. Today, it's 16 bucks a share, 14.7 million members with 2.4 billion gross profit run rate. These numbers are just outrageous, right? If there was ever a time to get into a company that is continuing to grow, it seems like now. It's going to make or break my career probably here on YouTube. But if this stock goes to where I think it can, it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money. And then we can go on, put those profits into the next best thing. We did that with Palantir. We owned around 1,000 shares at one time. I've sold about 400 shares over the last year and a half with the huge run that it's been on. And we've had a lot of successful runs, guys. So I'm excited for the future. I think SoFi is going to be huge soon. I think it's going to be a $30 to $50 stock over the next year or two. And we're going to make a ton of cash. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.